How many of you remember your dreams when you wake up? I rarely do, but over vacation, I was just in Florida visiting my in-laws, I woke up remembering a dream. Don't forget, logic doesn't exist in dreams. So for some reason, I was amongst a group of non-Israelis chosen to be part of the Knesset. And we were brought into a room, I guess, as an orientation or an inauguration. And in this room were, I guess, Jews from the diaspora of all types. There were clearly Haredi Jews there in the way that they're able to be seen externally. And there were those who seemed to be quite secular in the way that they are externally. Different dress, perhaps some body piercings. They were Jews of black skin, brown skin, white skin, the whole gamut. I'm not Joseph of the Bible, but thanks to Freud, we can psychoanalyze this dream. Perhaps it was over vacation, my mind saying, you got to give a sermon when you get back. Here is a theme. But really seriously, if I delve deep into my mind, into my heart, clearly I am passionate about Jewish unity and cohesion. And this is my mind and my heart telling me that I still think about unity every time I open the newspaper and just think about what does it mean to be a Jew, for myself, a rabbi, in 2024. The Jewish people, as we know, are too polarized at this moment in time. I believe the polarization is one of the variables. There are many variables, and we obviously haven't even addressed it yet, that caused October 7th. That especially the Jews and the Israelis were fighting amongst each other. They didn't see the totality of the external threat. And post-October 7th, for sure, we know that we have to work on Jewish unity because we've seen the power of what unity we have found post-October 7th. So a little bit about unity, especially Jewish unity. We Jews know and love to talk about our differences and to focus on them. I do this, you do that. We do that, they don't do that. My father was wont to always say, someone who's less observant, they are a heretic. He did it obviously as a joke. Those who are more observant, they are fanatics. We have it right. We know every little difference between each other. But guess what? Our enemies don't know anything or don't care about the differences from the Hanukkah story up until today. Whether we fought over how to keep kosher, how to keep Shabbat, what customs we kept, what beliefs we had, what we said in our prayers, our enemies did not care. They knew we were all Jewish, and they persecuted us because we are all Jewish. And so because of that, we need to do a better job of not overlooking, but taking our differences and being united because of them and in spite of them. And our tradition teaches us that unity is good and possible. The Torah portion today opens up, and we're going to read it next week as part of the annual Shkalim, that says every year, now back then it was males, I'm going to say every adult. Every year, every Jewish adult needs to give a half shekel to the community. And dafka, a poor person cannot say, oh, I'm too poor, I can't give the half shekel. They have to find it in them. And a rich person can't say, oh, I got plenty of money, I'm going to find some honor and kavod, and I'm going to give more. Dafka, it says, the rich can't give more, the poor cannot give less. It is we call it a tax, but really it's a value contribution, a value proposition for all of Israel, all of Jewish kind to come together and be in community. And our Midrash even also goes farther. We just read about the giving of the 10 Commandments at Sinai, and yes, we know we have the golden calf, but we were all in this together. It's said that at Sinai, all of the Jewish souls ever to exist, yes, it's metaphorical, but all those to be born, and yes, all those to convert, stood at Sinai as one voice, saying, Na'aseh v'nishma. We have seen since October 7th that when we put our disunity and our differences aside, we can get a lot done. The protesters stopped protesting and said, what can we do? People kept saying, what can we do? And that's still going on. God willing, a group of us are going to Israel. There are solidarity missions all the time that are going because the Jewish people of the world have said, we need to stop focusing selfishly on ourselves, and we need to stop looking at our differences. It is time to stand up and be together. And yes, it's not perfect, it's not done yet. There's still questions about Haredim serving in the IDF, but even that is starting to change the tide because people have realized that if we don't stand together, if we don't fight together, then we fall together. Because remember, our enemies do not care. I'm not going to be a member of Knesset, nor do I really want to be. So what is the dream telling me to do? What am I supposed to be doing? Because yes, I can read the newspaper and try, oi gewalt, our enemies are getting us, and sometimes we feel polarized as a Jewish community. It means I have to practice what I preach, practice what I dream, even if I'm not in the Knesset. When I feel myself trying to compare or show disdain for a Jew because they are different than me, I need to hold that in, remember our enemies don't care, and remember that we need to be united. If we focus on our unity, and yes, we have to give a little bit of our ego when we do that, we know that we can be stronger. However one does it, even if it's just a little bit, one step at a time. If you can come to Israel, by the way, you can still sign up for the trip if you'd like to, then join us. If you can give money, if you could call somebody, call a Jew, call a family member who is not like you, call and say, how are you doing? It is great to be with you and great to be Jewish people, because we all know, whether you're in college or a student or an older person, it sometimes feels lonely to be a Jew in this world. And the more that we can be united, maybe we can follow that messianic dream of bringing back a temple of some type, one place that we can call Beit Tfilah, L'chol HaYehudim, to all the Jews, and yes, God willing, one day, L'chol HaAmim, to all the nations, that one day we don't have hatred and Dr. King's dream can come true. Shabbat Shalom.